This is going to be fun. I don't usually buy pay dirt, just not usually in my budget, but I saw this and I had to get it. This is Dave's GoldBay Hard Rock pay dirt. It even comes with directions. You need to take a pointer and check everything for metallics. This is actually basically debris from when they were excavating the gold vein, and this is what fell on the floor, and he just scraped it up and put it in bags. So I'm about to classify this, and we're going to get started. Boy, it's really red. Really, really red. Okay, so I've got a 10 mesh and a 40 mesh classifier on here. So we're going to dump them through both. I will definitely be rinsing that bag out. Okay. Let me show you here. This is the plus 10. He's stuck in there. There's the plus 40. This one's dry. And then there's the minus 40. So maybe I'll run it through the sluice and pan out the big stuff, because I'm more interested in what's in the actual ore than that. I mean, there might be some finds, but there could be some specimens and stuff in there. So we'll see what we got. Okay, we got our minus 40. We got our minus 10 plus 40. And finally, we got our plus 10. So I think we are going to start with the medium-sized stuff. So Dave said to check every one of these rocks, so I'm going to cut just a little bit at a time to pan this out. Okay guys, I got this finished sluice set up. It's probably going to take me forever to run it, but it'll be faster than panning this stuff because I'll be looking at every teeny speck. So, see if I can get this so you can see it. My little ghetto cleanup sluice here. I didn't buy any of it. The pocket sluice came when I bought a classifier, 2 classifiers, and they just threw that in. So, let me get the first scoop going here. Man, this stuff is red and ugly and dirty. I don't buy much pay dirt. I just make my thing. But when I saw this, I'm like, I gotta give this a shot. It's 3 pounds. He added 1/4 gram guaranteed. He added some placer gold, but anything else in here is right out of the vein. So anybody that's watched probably knows already, I got my first sponsorship, which is pretty awesome. They sent me a 27-piece gold mining kit with a 50-inch foldable sluice. So I'm pretty stoked to give that a try. Right now it's kind of chilly out there. It was snowing and raining the last couple of days. None of the snow stuck because temperatures, they get real cold at night. Not real cold, but you know, low 20s, and then the daytime it gets in the mid-upper 30s. But it's just been wet and miserable. And at the end of the week it's supposed to get nice, so I'm gonna take that sluice out and give it a run, see how it goes. I hope all the veterans out there have a or probably by the time this airs, had a wonderful Veterans Day. It's tomorrow. I'll be going down to Hy-Vee and getting my free breakfast, and I do that, and then I go to the Fort Des Moines, and they hold a special event every Veterans Day. I like meeting the old guys, you know, the Vietnam guys that are still left hanging out. My dad's a Vietnam guy. He's 83, I believe, 84 maybe. He's kind of eaten up with Agent Orange. I didn't even diagnose him until like 10 years ago. Started having all kinds of issues. I know there's going to be some crazy stuff in here, I'm thinking. So Dave said to use a pointer and check all of these rocks. So when I'm done, I'm going to let everything dry out. And then once it's dry, I'm going to take my pointer and just spread it all out and see if it finds anything. This light was a little better in here. Wonder if my Make Farming Great Again or Make Farmers Great Again hat is messing it up. Oh, look at that. Maybe. Kind of. That sure does look like a piece of gold right there. My light is so bad I can't really tell. I need to get some more light in here. I just got done panning out this very first couple of spoons full, and show you. I don't know if you can see. You see, there are a bunch. There's one little chunk over there on the left. It's dirty, but it's definitely lode gold. It's really jaggedy and stuff. And you see all those little micros in there? That was like the first tablespoon or two that I did. And again, I'm going to save all the rocks. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm going to zoom in tight. But there is a lot of superfines like that in here. A bunch of them. And that's like 100 mesh. It's very small. This is a tiny finish pan that I'm holding. You see by my thumb how small it is. So those are very, very, very small. That is definitely hard rock. Just wanted to show you that. Because I'm being ultra meticulous, this is taking forever. I just don't want to lose, and I found some, I mean, for how small they are, pretty incredible little pieces already. No, I mean, not a lot of chunky gold, but what I'm finding is a lot of specimens. So this is the last of my minus 10 plus 40. And then I got the big plus 10 pieces to do. And then I've got all my minus 40, which I'm probably going to set up my finish sluice and run it through there. And then I'm going to dry everything out and check it with my pointer, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. You probably notice I use this magnifying ring light when I'm looking at my pan, because my eyes aren't good enough to see that minus 100 stuff, minus 200 stuff, and there's some of that in here already I've found. So I just don't want to miss anything. So when you're almost 100, you'll know what I'm talking about. Here's another piece. Focusing. Kind of disappointing last pan, not much in it, but that's how it goes sometimes. I'm going to move on to that big stuff. I'll get back with you if I find anything. So I'm about to look at my bigs, the plus 10. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few in, wash them real good. I'm not going to pan them out, and then I'm going to individually inspect them, because that's kind of what he said to do. Just take a few and give them a bath. So I'm guessing like all the weight of the gold is probably going to come out of the minus 40 as usual. I'm just hoping to find a specimen or two in all these hard rock samples. This is the stuff that he picked up off the mine floors. They were busting out. There's something in here. I don't know if that's telluride or it's silver looking. Well, this stuff is just oxidizing. It's just crumbling in my fingers. Anyways, I'm going to pick through this and I will get back to you after I've had a little closer inspection. Looks like Australia. That looks tasty. Rusty quartz. Nothing better. If I could make this into soup, I would eat it. Probably be good for you, have a lot of minerals. That big chunk of ore has been real helpful to keep all the tailings from heading back up to this end where my pump's at. So all the real small stuff in here is going to be all hard rock. And they put in a 1/4 gram of placer gold in each one just so have something easier to find. But I've already seen a bunch of real ultra fine stuff, like, I don't know, 200 mesh, smaller than 100 mesh for sure. I don't know how that's looking on camera, but try another one. Get you guys way up in there, maybe you'll see some gold. Yeah, this stuff looks crazy. I found a whole bunch of little pieces that have tiny little flecks of gold on them. I'm actually using, to hold my sluice up in the tub here, I'm using some gold ore that I brought back from North Carolina that has gold visible, real tiny gold. Not like that one John R. got, that was spectacular. But still, there's a bunch of them. And like I said, I'm going to go through everything with a metal detector, a pen pointer, and see if I missed anything. Let me look down the barrel here and see. It's piling up on that left side, so it needs to be up. See if that helps. I'm going to go through after I sniff everything, with my little sniffer, I'm going to go and just crush the shit out of all this and repan it. And make sure there's nothing big that I'm going to damage, something nice, and then crush it all up, because I bet there's little micro gold trapped in this that you can't see. And the pinpointer isn't going to pinpoint, you know, 1/1000th of a gram, which, you know, if you have a bunch of those, that adds up. And I know this looks painfully slow, especially with how much I have to do. But if you see what this stuff is like panning out, you'll see why this is probably the better idea. I'm going to have a huge pile of tailings down here that I will probably run one more time just to make sure I didn't miss anything, but not now. I'll go in a later bucket. I got lots of buckets. I got lots of buckets around here, don't I, Freddie?
A few dozen.
If it ain't, I can rerun it.
Huh?
If it ain't, I can rerun it. It ain't like the dirt's going anywhere.
You get the truth.
And you know I'll rerun it anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Because you never catch all of it. No matter how good of a system you got, you're never going to catch 100%. Now if you crush it all down to powder and then extract it that way, you can get 100%, or 99.9 probably. But with this, you're happy to get like 95, 96. That'd be awesome. Okay, I will get back to you guys in a minute. I can see gold in there. Not much yet, but you never know what's under that black sand. So, but I do see some yellow dancing around in there. So that's hopeful. Of course, you kind of expect to see gold if you're getting some of this dirt. If you can see this, but that's what we're running. See if I can angle this light a little better. It's just basically, it looks like pulverized quartz. It's all oxidized. Beautiful. Few wheelbarrows full of this and you'd probably be a happy miner. Especially with gold over $4,000. Hell, silver's back over 50 bucks. Who'd ever thunk it? I was a kid, well, not a kid, but a young adult boat. Well, I guess it hit it in 2008, but first time it hit 50 was back in, I think it was January, February of 80. I could be wrong, but it was 1980, I remember. Because I graduated the year before. I'm sure I already mentioned this sponsorship deal. I'm actually using the pans right now to hold this stuff in. So before I even get it to the creek, I'm giving it a little test. So we're down to the last little bit here. A few more scoops and we should be done. The water's getting pretty brown, but still wet. Like most of my bubbles from my surfactant have been kind of neutralized. It should still be slippery water, hopefully. Let the gold fall to the bottom. I'm going to finish feeding this and then dump it out and see what's inside of that sluice box. So this is what we got after running it through the cleanup sluice. I would say maybe 2-3 tablespoons, which is crazy that that little sluice would hold that much. But I'm going to pan this out and see where it goes. Okay, let's see what's in here. I'll be surprised, or not surprised, but interested to see what's in here. Above 1/4 gram. I'm hoping it's much more than that. Otherwise it was pretty expensive, but this is going to be fun. I'm going to go through all these rocks again. And then I will, after I sniff them all, I'll crush them. Just because I know where this is from, it's worth the crush. You don't want to crush a nice specie, but if there are micros in there, it could be millions of micros piled up in there. Some big chunkies. That's probably added. I think most of the stuff, it's hard rock, will be a little bit smaller, or a lot smaller. But you never know, some of these might not be. If they're not water worn, they're not placer. So, I don't know if you can see that right there. I'm going to zoom in on that. Look at that chunky gold. That is chunky. Okay, so there's a little gold there. I'm going to finish panning this out. I'm going to use my ring light so I don't miss any of the ultra fine, and I'll get back with you. Check this out. This is pretty sweet. Now, I'm going to pick this up because you probably can't really see that little hard rock gold, that real small stuff. See if I can move this light so the glare isn't so bad. Yeah, that's the big chunky stuff, but those micros are all over the place. There's a bunch of it. So, now I still got what's in my snuffer, so I will get back at you in a minute. Okay, there's a bunch of these in the snuffer that are going to look like rocks. They're little pieces that have little specks on them. Now, not sure if you guys can see this or not, but I'm going to take, I know you can't see it, I'm going to take photos of all these, but let's just do a little tap. I'll move the bigger chunky rock pieces out that have ore. Try to separate the gold from Specimen Gold. Everything wants to go to the back of the front of the pan. See, most of these little ones here are like full of gold. Not full, but enough gold where you see it. But let's see what we got here. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, I know you can see the big stuff, but I want you to see the real small micro hard rock gold. All that tiny, there's some floating, but all that little stuff. Wasp just landed on my arm, tried to sting me, so I had to thump him before he got me. Anyways, I wanted to show you that real fine, very small hard rock gold. And those big giant chunky pieces. Now, over here, every one of these pieces has little specks of gold on them. I don't know if you can, any of them are coming up now, but I'm going to take photos of them and put it at the end of the video. And I'll get a weight. But yeah, that is pretty freaking cool. This took a while. I'm going to go through it again and crush it after that. But so I'm not done playing with this dirt, but this has been 3 hours. Anyways, that's pretty awesome. Okay, we're gonna do our snuffer dump. Now there's a bunch of these. Remember I said a wasp landed on my arm? Well, he came back. So I grabbed my pair of scissors and I chopped his stinger off. I'm gonna let him suffer for a little while, like he tried to make me suffer, the little rotten bastard. He shouldn't be alive with the freeze, but I don't know, he ain't alive now. So all of that brown rock that you see with that pretty gold is ore with little specks of gold in it, little tiny specimens. Very cool. Thanks, Dave. Look at all those specimens. All that really coarse, sharp gold. Look at all that fine hard rock gold. Pretty. Very pretty.